I just want to thank you for coming on today.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so excited. I'm like the nerdy kid that always loves to talk about traffic and content. So it's truly my pleasure.
Oh, that's really exciting. So what Anna and I talked about was that we would do this in a little bit of an interview style where as an experienced advertiser who's run offers over the years and having to work with great networks like MaxWeb, even now and in the past, I have a perspective as an advertiser where I have a certain desire to get more traffic. So the whole intent here was to unearth some kind of best tips that come out of an advertiser's perspective come out of network. And so what we would love from all of you guys is if you have questions along the way, I will also keep a chat going. Hey, Joel, thanks for typing in hello. That's awesome. You rock. Hi, Joel. And if you have questions along the way, do not hesitate to ask them. One of my favorite mentors says, the worst question is the one not asked. So please ask away. You know, we want to be open books here. I got Anna to commit to that about kind of like there's really nothing off limits. And she's excited about that. I am too. Okay, so here's where we're going. First, I think the best first question to kind of really get it going is, you know, when we're dealing with the CEO of MaxWeb, how do we properly address you since you have like 4 aliases? What's the best way to deal with Anna? You have a Facebook alias, and so why don't you let us in on the little secret as to why you have so many names?
Well, I love it. And honestly, I wish there was a very cool story behind it, but it's not. It's quite simple. So my maiden name is Andrejka. My married name is Gita, and my passport name is Anka. So instead of the double N, there's a C. And over the years, I had so many people mispronounce it that at one point I was like, you know what, let me just change that C to an N. And everywhere, all over the globe, people are going to be able to pronounce Anna. So that's it, just to make your lives easier.
Yeah, I love it. My design team was like, which name do we use? Do we use this one? And it was fun. Actually, we got a kick out of it because they kept kind of messing it up, using your maiden name in one sense, a different first name. So we got a good kick at it internally. And I thought other people would like to know that in case you mess that up, it's mostly your fault, Anna. So I just thought it would be fun. And so I have a little bit of fun with that.
Always.
So, you know, over the years, as I've built offers and I've always, you know, I live under the adage, whoever can pay the most to win the advertiser, or excuse me, to win the affiliate, the publisher usually wins. Whoever can pay the most to acquire the customer. But interestingly, over time, I found some other things to be true with how to work with an affiliate. And so I thought would be a great way to kind of start this out was, you know, from a perspective of like me, the advertiser, you know, I want more traffic. I wake up every day desiring more traffic to my offer. I never, ever not wake up in that position. But when I approach you, when I come to the network, I have a different perspective of how to attract the affiliate. And what I'd love if we could start right out of the gates, what are some of your best tips to us, the advertiser, on really how to approach the network to ultimately like win over some affiliates? Because I think we come at this with a rather unique perspective that isn't always right. So I would love if you would love to let the guard down a little bit and play it honest with us. Like give it to us real as advertisers as to what would be the best way to kind of be in a position to win with the affiliates.
I love it. And I've seen these mistakes so often during the years. And, I love working with the product owners, right? Many of you guys here are my friends, but big mistakes I'm seeing. A lot of the product owner think, this is a great offer, we're just missing the traffic, bring on the traffic. But there's a lot of work that goes behind that, right? So your approach has to be, what can we give you? Not just the offer, not just the lender, not just, the VSL that looks good. What else can we give you, right? That's the attitude that I want to see when we work with product owners. what can we give you? Because, I don't want to go into details because you guys know I'm seeing the list of some of our friends that join. And these are people that have been working on optimizing the funnels. They know how important it is to test an offer, right? But there's more than that, right? It's not just about changing the headline to make it more compelling to the customer or knowing the customer needs. The time have changed. So if it was easy to get customers and traffic 3 years ago, it's a completely different game now. So you as the product owner, when you start working with a network or with publisher, make sure you are very educated. So you should know specifically, what's an Optismo link. How do you set a Postback pixel? How do you set a Facebook pixel? How do you check the tracking? Because affiliates are very educated. They spend a lot of time and money. So when a product owner doesn't know the basics, because to us, these are very basic things to ask for, then we get a bit worried, right? Because it's not enough just having some swipes. Now, when we're focusing on media buys and cold traffic, we want to have as many creatives as possible, right? We want to have new banners. We want to have fresh lenders. We want to have a lender with an aggressive headline, a lender with a less aggressive one. Maybe we want to have a lender that has the bottles on the bottom so we can get it approved on specific native networks. So we need a lot from you. So you as the product owner, the best that you can do, be open-minded and know it's going to be a lot of work if you want to scale and if you want to get a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I like how you said, I love on that one thing you said right there that, we start to get worried. Like if some of these things aren't in place, the confidence that you have to go back to the publisher or the the affiliate with like your recommendation, you start to get nervous if the advertiser is missing these things. What, like in that category of worried, what kind of like jumps out at you is like what you talk to your team about is like, this is like a couple red flags. If we got these, you're put like in a undisclosed, like so to speak, worried penalty box.
Oh, there are lots of red flags. We had to something easy, and then we just figure out we'll come with the solution ourselves. But the last couple of years, we would get email swipes, right? Like the product owners would say, email is accepted for this offer. But when we asked for Optismo or Prescient, opt-out links, they were like, well, we don't really offer them. So we got worried. I mean, with all the laws and compliance on spam, we want to see that Optismo link, and that should be used for all the affiliates sending traffic. So what we started doing, we said, okay, well, we'll have exclusivity. We will create the Optismo. We will pay for it because we want to make sure, we keep good track of everything. Same with pixels. I mean, if someone says, well, I can't really figure out how to do it. And it doesn't matter what tracking platform you have. I'm sure you can figure it out, but it's a bit of a hassle, right? So when someone says, well, I don't really think I can post 20 pixel on this one lender, that sounds complicated. That's a red flag, right? So it's not like we're going to be prompt to say, well, just let's send 800 sales tomorrow because it's going to be fine. It's probably going to be placed correctly. So, that's another really big one.
A lot of our friends, and I love looking at the list of people here who have joined, and thank you for all you on Facebook Live. And it's exciting to see our community. One of the things that I noticed is that this was me back in the early days of starting my offers. I don't have a lot of those like resources to do those things. So like, am I better off like raising my hand as an affiliate and saying, Anna, like, I get it, those make sense, but I don't have a lot of that. What do you recommend I do? Because instead of playing like I'm something I'm not, like, what do you recommend with that?
I recommend product owners being really honest, right? Because we have the connections, even if it's something that we don't do ourselves. If they want good creatives, we can recommend them to someone. And honestly, the cost of creating some good resources and the traffic you can get, it's truly minimal. So we really are not talking about, things that are going to break the bank, but just let us know. We have the connections. If you're not sure who can write some really good swipes for you, we'll help you. If you're not sure how to stay compliant with certain things, we can help. But the worst is when, we have the ego going in the beginning and they're like, we have everything. This is great. This converts at 5%. Well, give us more.
I often think, like, when I would approach a network, I would like excited about a new traffic source or a new set of affiliates or publishers. I'd love to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about don't do this. Like as an advertiser approaching you, what are some of the things that we talked about? Making sure you have your creatives in order. I want to talk about kind of the relationship side a little bit, because I think this is a bigger part that a lot of people don't realize. And so if I approach you with like, Anna, my offer is amazing, you need to run it, like, can we talk a little bit about like, what are some of the softer sides of the relationship building that actually can turn a network and affiliates off? And what are some things we should advise advertisers? Hey, here's what you shouldn't do.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great one. So first of all, no matter how much you like someone, we have to be pragmatic and smart. So when thinking from a business aspect, payment terms are always important. So we want people to treat us with respect. If we do a lot of media buys, we provide amazing traffic. So the respect that we usually ask for is good payment terms. Of course, a lot of the partners prepay, and people that know us forever, they prepay as much as we need. But in the beginning, that's not necessary, but good terms are important. So let's say weekly, right? I think weekly is a decent threshold to make sure we're respected and we can buy the traffic. And a good CPA, a lot of the product owners are used with the rev share model. And that's cool. It's good to offer both. So I would say a big thing is to be open to offering both, but CPA is very important if you want to scale your offer. Make sure you offer the partners that you work with good payment terms. And the most important, which I have seen the good partners do, which we do for our affiliates, is offer make goods. It's not about the money. This means when you have something, if you have downtime, if the offer converts incredibly bad and it's clear that something has to do with the funnel, don't even wait for the affiliates to complain that the conversion rate is down. Offer make goods, because I promise you in the long run you're going to make so much money from being good and decent and doing the right thing. We wouldn't be where we are today if we made decision based on only being the good Samaritans, right? We try to be as much as possible fair, but in the case of make goods, it will change your business model if you're actually honest when something is wrong with the offer.
I love that. Can I jump on those two things? Like, I've always, when I grew a group of affiliates to my offers, I would always go first on money to the extent you can, because I want to win that relationship. I've learned over time that if I immediately come out with wanting extended terms, well, then I'm going to get moved down the list a little bit, because that's a business relationship problem. So I love that. Go first and then develop the relationship and see what can build out of that. But that second one is a motto we live by: admit it and fix it. And I can't tell you how many times people are like, what if they just don't know? And we just kind of let that gloss over. The worst thing that you can have is an affiliate coming back and complaining about something, and then you going, oops, my bad. So how do you help somebody get over this idea that admitting it and fixing it is the best thing you can do to win over an affiliate?
Just numbers, show them a case study. This is what I usually do when they ask, well, how in the world do you send 1,000 orders to a specific offer? And the truth is that's because the product owner behind that offer is a great partner that always owns up to it. We don't have to tell him, our partners don't have to tell him. He's going to keep tabs and just say, you know what, I've noticed was like 12 minutes of downtime. we'll send you some money. And again, it's really not about the money here. Is with affiliate traffic and good traffic, people need to be confident that, you know, they work with people that are not gonna make them lose money.
And
Because
pay on time, right? Yeah.
oh, that's incredible. I mean, I don't even want to press point on that because everyone should know. And I know in the industry we've been hearing problems with that. We pay like clockwork. We don't even have to have people send us, you know, invoices. It's so important to pay people on time, and we expect the same thing. So
It
as the
blows
product,
my mind when like someone is complaining and then you look under the hood and you're like, hey, you have a reputation of not paying. Why are you upset about this? Like, maybe we should go back to the plank in your own eye before we deal with some of these things. And so that's that loving way of having that conversation. I'd love to switch gears a little bit to performance, if I could. You know, I think a lot of times if someone thinks they pay the most and then their margins are really thin, and they're frustrated that they're getting these sales, but it's not really backing out for them. Like, what are some best practices for an advertiser when they're in that situation?
well, one thing that I've seen over the last year that works very well, because on the front end, you should be planning on losing money. If you want to have a lot of customers on the back end, you should be prepared to lose money on the front end. I think that's a rule that most product owners know at scale. But honestly, look at your abandoned carts. Find ways to keep the people that are visiting your website. There are so many tools that you can use to just check the visitors of your website, the visitors of your Langer, people that get to the checkout page but don't purchase, and then hire a service to call those customers within the 20 minutes of the abandoned cart. I have seen businesses grow by 66% in the last 8 months because they weren't doing anything with the abandoned carts. And then, you know, we suggested that it would be a good idea, and it works incredibly well. Because if you're not making money on the front end, you see the customers, you see the list of customers every day, but your bank account is not great, it's not going to motivate you, right? So abandoned carts, it's a great advice for product owners that haven't done anything with it yet. Even if you do email traffic, honestly, I would suggest you try the abandoned cards and actually hire someone to call them directly. Because a lot of the customers, guess what? They were too lazy to input the credit card information, but they do want the product. So it's, you know, a really high conversion rate when you call them.
I remember like back in the day when I first got started in this business, I'm aging myself a little bit, but back in '08 when I first started working with networks, I worked with this network at ClickBooth, and you might know their name and all that good stuff. But I remember my old business partner said to me, hey, the coup de grace, when you know you're there, is this 1% on cold traffic for your EPC. So let's just double that for the sake of this discussion and say it's 2%. Right? And say that, wow, we're killing it on cold traffic with 2%. That still means 98% have fallen off somewhere in your funnel activity with the attraction to that consumer. One, we started really paying attention to our traffic. The other day, Emily Lark asked a question in one of those groups you and I are in about abandonment. You know, I was reading a stat the other day that someone who really focuses on pickup strategies, things like retargeting or follow up, you could pick up a 10% lift in your company, like 10% of traffic you've already paid for. Like, it blows my mind. I did it too. When I say it blows my mind, I've wisdom now where I'm like, whoa, I can't believe how hard I was working at that 1 or 2% and blowing off the 98%. And like, what are some of the better things you've seen where people who get it or do, what are some of the better things you see?
Well, I see the same things, but with specifically with this, and I just want to address Craig's question before we move on this. So Craig, that's a very good, thing you brought up.
Yeah,
and
so
that's why
the crowd, in case people don't see it. So Craig Hanley, awesome rock star from Listen Trust, just asked, calling cart abandons is quite tricky. I added the word quite from a legal standpoint. And now, Anna, I'd love to hear your thoughts on
Yes, it is. That's why you should go to the experts that do this. We know specific companies that do this and do a very good job. Uh, Even if we don't do it ourselves, I always recommend people that really know what they're doing, because for the product owners, we take care of the cold and native traffic. But if they want more, we are super excited to tell them, well, we know this company, two, three, we can introduce you guys, and they know the legality behind it, because this is their whole business model. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it successfully. So, probably don't do it yourself if you're not fully confident in all the aspects of it. But it's really, honestly, most of these companies, how they do it, which I think it's incredible, they just ask for a percentage of the calls they win. Right? So you don't have to pay them anything. They're just an affiliate that you pay maybe 50% rev share. And if they do a good job, they have a cut and you have a cut. And it's just incredible. So yeah, just go for a business. If you're not sure, send me an email after this is over. I'll be happy to tell you some specific businesses that actually do a good job. But if you're not sure, don't do it yourself. Same with me, and I'm sure Vinny agrees, don't get into stuff you're not 100% comfortable with.
Or at least something greater than majority comfortable with as you pick it up, right? And so I probably don't shoot for 100% on anything, but if I can live in the 80, 90 percentile on, knowing I'm in a place I might move. What was interesting to me is, something all of us as advertisers should consider is if you don't think about pickup strategies, then you're too focused on acquiring new customers versus saving the ones you may already have. And so it could be as simple as sending follow-up emails and reminders. And I just think this is a litmus test to what is your strategy to picking up customers who already are inclined. Quite often as a consumer, getting a follow-up email or, hey, I noticed you left, is a good strategy to consider winning me back. It shows that you care. And so I agree with your comment about work with using the right tools so that you're not in some trickiness on your cart. But I think you got to take a step back as an offer owner and say, am I doing anything to have a pickup strategy? And I think it first starts there. So in performance, Anna, I really appreciate that comment about kind of the cart. I see so many people racing to pay as much as they can.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know you've seen it. I've seen it. Everyone thinks, well, if we offer a really good CPA, all our problems are solved. We're going to have a lot of traffic. It's really like that. Most importantly is the conversion rate and the EPC. The things I was telling you about, payment terms, paying on time. It's more important to pay on time and weekly than offering a crazy CPA and paying net 60 next month. So payment terms, paying on time, offering a CPA, having good creatives, having a really good communication with the networks, that's going to be way more important. And honestly, you as a product owner, if you are not inclined to spend 12, 16 hours a day on your computer every day, hire an account manager that does and is comfortable doing that. Because if you're serious about your business, there's no way around you succeeding that doesn't equal hard work. Sorry, I can't tell you there's a secret sauce where you get to work 2 hours a day as you see on those affiliate marketing commercials. No, you have to work very hard, especially when you're setting your business. So if you don't feel like sitting 16 hours in front of your computer, hire a very good account manager that's responsive, because I can tell you ourselves, or most of the decent agencies, if they don't get a reply from you within a couple of hours, they're probably going to move to the next product owner.
One of the problems I had early on in my offers is, I was seduced by pay as much as I could. But one of the problems was I never really understood the range of what I was capable of paying. I didn't know what an offer could, what was the range that I could live within in order to operate and grow. How many people come to you where they have this attitude they want to pay whatever they can, but they have no idea what they're capable of paying?
Well, a lot that don't, that, we spend a bit of time educating the product owners on the average order value and the cost. You might forget the fulfillment cost. Not everyone sends the refunds back to you, right? You have to consider the cost of your customer service because it has to be very good to make sure you retain the customers and keep them happy. You really have to think about your tech costs. I cannot overly emphasize this, and most of the product owners don't have a good tech team. And I'm bringing this up now because when you're thinking about your costs, that should be a big part of it. If you are serious about your business, don't think as much about paying $150 CPA to a network. Pay them $100, and then on the back end, hire a development guy that is brilliant and is going to be able to help you get everything you need for the publishers. So, if you take away anything from this call, if you have an amazing team, it can be just you and another person or you and another two people. You don't need a huge team, but you need very, very good people if you're serious about succeeding. So those are the costs that you want to take into consideration more than how, let me give you the highest CPA, which if the offer doesn't convert, it doesn't really matter. Or if you don't know how to set up a postback pixel for the affiliates, no one cares. You're gonna, have a really good CPA for them.
Yeah, and that might be a CPA for a week if you now have all those other things going, right? So, one of the things, we have multiple clients and happy people in our life who love working with you guys. We are here, in case you're in an environment where you're listening to us, we're with Anna, the CEO, who is so kind. And by the way, you are never going to outwork this person. You can try, but you are just not going to. She is tenacious. She's super kind to deal with. Her entire organization is. But if you're just listening up, hey, great, please continue. If you are part of our live group right now, I would love and encourage you to throw in some questions. I don't know how often you get the CEO of a killer network like this available to you, but this would be a great time to think about those questions because shortly you're going to lose that. Now, the best way you can reach out to her, and if people want to, actually know more about how to be kind of like a better advertiser and really get better at this, what do you, other than some things later on we might give them, what would you kind of like, how do they reach out? What's the appropriate protocol to kind of approach the network?
Oh, we offer so many ways where, how we can be approached. Facebook, email, even just going to, maxweb.com and contacts. We have a live chat feature. So it's really easy to get a hold of us, right? Most important is for you to be open to the conversation, be responsive, and from the get-go, start with the premise that this is a conversation and we both want to make sure we are a good fit to each other.
Yeah, so, I love that about you, by the way. That's like when we first met, and you were like, hey, slow your roll there, quick boy. Let's make sure this works for both of us. And I love that you stopped me in my tracks. And if any of you else here, like, if you've been Anna, it's the nicest way. She's like, hey, ho, slow down. This isn't a one-sided relationship. Joel, I see you laughing. Like, it totally happened to me. And I appreciate the way we from New York, we'd say we got kneecapped. She did it in such a kind and loving way but that's her nature. And so, one of the things I love about MaxWeb is that you guys are affiliate centric. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's actually, an old movie of mine says, build it and they'll come. And I think what you and Mike have done there is building this affiliate eccentric model. And I think sometimes people can get a little backwards. They feel offended as the advertiser that it's not advertiser centric because it needs to be all about me, but it really is properly reversed. Can you dive in on that a little bit?
100%. I'm so glad you said this because many times everyone knows, at MaxWeb, we love our affiliates. We treat them like rock stars. And I really don't want product owners to think that that's because we put them on the back burner, because we don't. And let me explain you why. Because we love our affiliates so much, because we do such a good job keeping them happy, we are able to give you as the product owner more traffic, more customers, and your offers are scaling up. So you should be happy as the advertiser that we are putting the needs of the publisher as a very close first, right? Because it's normal. The affiliates work very hard. They spend their own money on the media buys. You're going to benefit from us treating the affiliates with a red carpet every day. And anyone that has worked with us, we have our faults. Everyone does, and we work very hard to always improve. But one thing that we can stand behind from day one is that we treat everyone with a lot of love and respect. So even if you're just getting started and you have a small blog, you're going to have a friendly face that's going to help you. Even if you're doing 50K a day, same, you'll get us on Skype. I'm involved in most of the Skypes. I love it. I think it's great to be involved with the partners. And going back, you should be happy as the advertiser that we focus so much on the product owners, because on the affiliates, because this is how we get the product owners to be very profitable.
I love that. It's funny. I remember when I first got started in this business, I started in the whole affiliate arena. Like, I didn't think there was really another place to do it. I remember dabbling in PPC and some other things and getting good at testing our own offer and driving our own traffic. But I'm sure you run into people who are like, whoa, we do our own thing. Affiliates, that just doesn't work. And I want to touch on that a little bit if we could. I think of affiliates as a world or nationwide or even a worldwide sales force, beyond anything I can do. And it blows my mind how people see it as one or the other. And I'm sure you get this a whole bunch. How do you deal with that?
Oh, we get it a lot. And it blows my mind that people see affiliate marketing, some of them. I mean, people that do their homework usually know it's fantastic. But some people almost see it as a negative. They think about affiliate marketing. They think about, I don't know, some hackers in a basement doing sales on the dark web, which is silly. Affiliate marketers are usually the most brilliant people on the internet. They are the people that have probably had really good jobs before. I can tell you from personal experience that the top affiliates are the ones that have the highest IQ, that probably had really good jobs before, and they were smart enough to redirect to something that gives them more freedom in the day-to-day life. So, when product owners say affiliate marketing won't work for me, I smile and I say, well, let me help you do your homework.
Yeah.
Right. And I say this in the kindest way possible. Because, with just a couple of case studies, I can pretty much show any product owner that if you are serious about scaling your business, you cannot do it on your own. You can hire Facebook experts. You can hire people in-house that, they trust and they like your business, but they haven't spent their whole career doing this. So when I see product owners saying, oh, I'm doing my own Facebook, well, I smile, because that means you're probably just spending a lot of money getting maybe a couple of customers every day. And I'm really certain you probably don't know what you're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing, right? We hire people that know better how to do this stuff than we do. So usually I say, it's up to you, but if you are serious about growing, we'll test the offer. And usually when they realize the business increase they can get from affiliate marketing, it just blows your mind.
Yeah, I had to realize early on something you said earlier, stay in your lane. I was a good offer builder, and I really believe I probably still am. But I always had this, I don't know if it's deficit, but I just wasn't as good at traffic. But that's why I would go to you and okay, I've got a converting offer that I'm optimizing. Hey, and so I want to talk about that subject, where people will come where they're not having an attitude of improving the offer or a baseline that's going to work. And this idea that affiliate is a place to expand, not to preliminarily test. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Definitely. And we are, we are very comfortable saying no to many product owners. So if you as a product owner are not open to making changes, to doing what is right to the affiliate network or the partners, we are probably not a good fit, and we're not going to work with you. It's the only way it works. And, I wish I could say we work with everyone, come on over. chances are you might not be a good fit if you're not open-minded, if you're not excited about giving us and the affiliates what they need. So it's all about your mindset. If you're serious about making a lot of money, then, just be open to changing your offer.
Yeah, I think about like guys that are product owners, like, I see Todd Lamb is on here. What a rock star, right? He just comes at it with the right way of growing the offer. And Todd, just a little shout out to you. So I saw you were there, buddy. But Anna, we were talking earlier before we started recording that you kind of sat down and you wanted to create a gift for everybody. And this idea of like a kind of something we want to give away later. So what we're going to do is follow up with this gift. But can you describe this like little cheat sheet thing that you're going to want to give away to everybody?
Yeah, definitely. So I started writing down when Beanie and I started talking about this. I'm a huge nerd. I probably could write a book by now with what it means to get really good traffic to your offer. So I started typing and I said, well, I'll just do 5. And then I ended up doing 10 important things that you should be focusing on as the product owner if you want to scale your offer. So I typed those down and Beanie's going to send that to everyone. Even if you're not able to make it and you're watching this recording later, you will still get a copy, right, Vinny?
Yeah, we'll give you a link to how to get it and all that great stuff. I really more wanted to get someone on Anna's team to produce a great little product for us. And she's delighted. First off, you ask her for something that's appropriate and they just jump on it. So, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to have a relationship with MaxWeb. It's not like you can't work with more people. You go speak to some of their happiest people and they'll tell you they are a wonderful organization to work with. So I'm excited about that list. I think that's going to be super great. We're talking kind of about like these things that advertisers should do as they're approaching affiliates. And we have all this terminology, like at ClickBank, they say vendor for the advertiser. And then we say offer owner and we say, advertiser simultaneously. And then we say affiliate and publisher. And so I want people to realize there's other terminology that flows around. It's the person who has traffic and the person who creates the offer. And in kind of like a parting thing before we might address some of these questions and wind this down, what would you say would be like kind of like a hot list? Hey, offer owners, if I was going to do anything, because there's so many things on that list, here are the 3 most important takeaways that I would encourage you to really take an honest look at what you're doing and what you should be doing.
Absolutely. So if I want to just focus on 3, I would say, make sure you have good payment terms that include CPA. Yeah. That's a big one if you want to scale. 2, make sure you work, if you don't do the account management yourself, hire someone, a trusted network to work with the affiliates that's going to be responsive 24/7. Brilliant companies out there take a week to reply to an email, and that's not acceptable. So you as the product owner, if you cannot do it yourself, start working with an agency or a network that has 10, 20 account managers that this is their job to reply to all questions promptly and on time. And third, the second one with the team, I definitely want to add the tech side of things. If you don't have it, let us take care of that for you, but you need good technical people on your team. And 3, be kind and considerate. Might sound cheesy, but it's the best thing you can do as the product owner, because that implies you're going to have a good communication with us, with the publisher. You're going to be someone we trust with the payments. You're going to be someone that gives us things we need as far as creatives. So just be kind and responsive, and it's going to change the way your business looks. I've seen it personally.
One of the mottos in our company that actually kind of comes out of some things in my faith is a piece of scripture says, put the needs of others before yourself. And quite honestly, if an advertiser could have more of that perspective as it relates to, I think you said earlier, hey, come with your full package together, and then come with a heart of what else do I need to do? Don't show up with a whole bunch of stuff that's not done and be bothered that either the affiliate or the network hasn't done that for you. That whole posture can change this entire thing. Like quite often I'll hear people say, well, I pay more. I'm like, well, maybe you should look at people like we called out Todd Lamb, so let's stay there. Why don't you look at what he's doing? Why is it working for him? Well, he's doing a whole bunch of those other things. So maybe he's paying $2 less, but maybe his terms are better. Maybe his account manager's on things that aren't working. And gosh darn it, maybe he's just more humble than you are.
Yeah, well, he's the best example. I mean, not just because he's here with us, but if all product owners would approach things the way Todd does, everyone would have more traffic and better business model, because it really, all the things we discussed about how you are smart about your business, they really go back to the essence of who you are. So if you as a leader, you're humble and kind and you want to do right by your business, you're going to have the same approach to your partners. So we, our specialty, MaxWeb has the expertise of bringing you traffic, and we can do it, but we first want to make sure that you are the right partner for it, that you're someone smart and kind and witty that's going to do the right things, and start with the premise of what can we do for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of at Fully Accountable, take our whole thing. We start to smell out, is someone actually trying to improve the business? Or are they just a clever marketer who just wants to continue staying a clever marketer without adding those other elements in improvement to their business? I love that. That's like kind of like your meter, like you're smelling out that kind of stuff. Well, this has been super awesome, Anna. If anybody has a question, now's kind of the time to dive in, because we're going to be super respectful of her time. And I agree to put this in a place. But if you want to get a hold of anyone at MaxWeb, just go to maxweb.com. Anna is very accessible. Her team is very accessible. She's promised to share a gift. I'll show that in the show notes and push that back out in our email list. What is a final parting note other than just saying goodbye you'd like to tell everybody?
Well, I appreciate you guys and everyone that's going to be watching this later. Just approach your offer as an opportunity for growth. And when you think about partners that you're going to be working with to scale your offer, do your homework. So that's the most important piece. Do your homework, right? The reputation is out there. So it's gonna be easy to figure out what partners you want to work with.
I'm just checking our Facebook feed if I'm missing any questions over there. Sorry about that. No, I think we're good. And I thank you for the time today. I know you're in Romania and it's the end of your afternoon there. And so thank you for sharing some of that precious time that is valuable to all of us. Real quick, I wonder how are things going in this interesting time? Like, I know you guys are already a remote team. Like, that already is how you do it. But because things have kind of changed a little bit in this last couple of months, what has kind of changed in the way you guys has anything changed in the way you're dealing with the way you're managing your big team?
Well, we are very lucky that, we had the idea of letting everyone work remote years ago. Mike has been brilliant about that before Google or the big companies decided to let people work from home. And it's always been very easy for us to work remote. And our whole business approach makes it easy for us to lead people from even if everyone is at home. So for us, it was it wasn't a hard change. Mostly the tough part was the morale of some of our people. So we tried very hard to make sure everyone is okay, right? We're there for them. We go through the needs, and even if someone had a bad month when everything started, probably because of anxiety due to the crisis, we just made sure we're there for them. They know they can call us or get on a Skype video, and we're present, even if we are maybe a world away or thousands of miles away. I think it's very easy for us to make ourselves available with the technology that we have today.
Well, I, like always, enjoy our conversations. And this has been fun to just kind of have it out loud in front of everybody. And I really appreciate it. And there's been some wonderful chat and chatter. A lot of it's been like cheering how awesome you are, because that's true. It's easy to do that. So thanks for today. And I got a question. I will contact someone and see how they can help me. That's cool. So you got some people reaching out, some people who didn't even know you who are here. It's shocking to me they don't know your company, but that's good. It reminds us how big the world is and how little we can be at times. That there are other resources. So Anna, thanks for today. Thanks for your time. And great talking with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope everyone had a good time. And we will have the present I told you about with the specific things that we can share with everyone later.
Yeah, we'll get that out to you as soon as we're capable. Everybody have a great day. See ya.
Thank you.